ladies and gentlemen, to our third episode of Purpose Driven Chance. I'm your host, William Grayson, with my sidekick, William D. Harris. How you doing, Will?
Great, doing great.
And today we got Megan B. from Megan B. Music. How you doing, Megan?
I'm doing great too. It's good to be here. Thank you guys for having me.
So Megan is from Sounds of Fire, and she also has her own album called Mood Out. It's currently out. It's streaming everywhere. Megan hails from, I believe, Virginia Beach, correct?
So I live in Newport News, but yeah, I am all over. I go to Virginia Beach a lot. I'm in Norfolk a lot, but residing in Newport News.
All right, Megan, tell everybody about you.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Megan B. I actually grew up in Fredericksburg, Virginia, which is like 2 hours or so from here, and then came here to go to Christopher Newport University in 2010. Graduated with my bachelor's of vocal performance, and then just kind of was using my degree to teach voice lessons and working kind of odd and end jobs, and I still kind of felt like something was missing there. So I actually went back to school and I found a program where I could do a music therapy degree, kind of like an equivalency program. So I could do that in 2 years. And I did that program, and now I'm a board certified music therapist as well. And then I have been singing and songwriting since I can remember, since I was very young. And I'm excited about the journey that I'm on, and where my music, just all around, whether it be education or music therapy or performing, I'm very blessed and grateful to be on the journey. So that's a little bit about me.
All right, so Megan, what inspired you on this music journey in the music industry?
Well, I think growing up, I just saw a lot of and looked up to a lot of just different musical artists, and it did inspire me to want to pursue that as a career, and just to be able to do what I love and make that my day-to-day job. I also, excuse me, like didn't actually meet her, but I feel very close to my grandmother on my mother's side. She was also an artist. She was in a bluegrass group, and they traveled up and down the East Coast and played music. And my mom she actually passed the year I was born, but my mom will tell me that sometimes when I'm singing, that it kind of replicates her. And so I feel like music has just kind of it's a gift that I've been given. And so that's also been a huge part of my inspiration as well.
Oh, that's good. Will?
Megan, talk to me about the impact of Bishop Ezekiel Williams from Faith World Ministry has had in your life.
Oh my gosh. So Bishop Ezekiel Williams is just one of the most incredible men I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. That whole experience has I've been catapulted into this world of just love and uplifting. And it's just an awe to be in the same room with him, and to be, almost close, like family with a man of that caliber. The church is an absolutely beautiful, wonderful place. Their mission is just that, and it's been so nice to see and witness their growth, and kind of hear their stories of how they started and where they come from, where they came from, and where they're headed. So just Bishop and the whole leadership team, and music directors and things from Faith World and from the choir. Man, it's an honor to be working with them and to just be in their presence.
Talk to me a little bit, Megan, about the experience of the documentary for Voices of Fire, how you started, whether you were nervous or not when they had the auditions, because it was a six-part documentary. Tell me about that experience, Megan.
Yeah.
Man, so that actually, I had not heard of the auditions happening. I know they had posted something in the newspaper, and so a few of my friends actually reached out to me on different occasions. Were like, Megan, you should do this. And I just put it off. It was like, I don't really know. Like, I've never really sung gospel music before. Of course it's Pharrell, so it's like, but I had also done just so many American Idol and America's Got Talent, The Voice, and just X Factor, all of these different auditions for so many years that I just kind of felt like, you know, I've been there, done that. Like I'm, you know, I don't really know if I want to put myself out there just for more rejection. And so the last day that the submissions were due, I sent in a video. I recorded me singing in my car, and I sent in my video. And a few days later, I got a call that I got a call back for this choir. And I still have that voicemail on my phone because when I tell you I ran around this apartment, just could not believe that, you know, they picked me, that they wanted me to come in and even just have a call back. So then they held those at the, I believe it was the Norfolk Collegiate. It's a really nice school. I think it's like a secondary school or a college in Norfolk. So they held the callbacks there. The line was wrapped around the building. I was incredibly nervous. I always get very, very nervous for any performance or audition. I had brought my guitar with me just in case. I think they had asked us to prepare a couple different selections, but yeah, I went in and they had this in the auditorium. It was Bishop was sitting there, and Pastor Larry George, who's the music director, incredibly talented man. And then Elder Pastor Riddick was also there for the audition. And so they had a piano, and I sat down at the piano and played Rise Up by Audra Day. And just sang a little bit of it. And yeah, and they were very receptive. And Bishop said, "You want to come sing with us?" I was like, "Yeah, I do. I really do." And so from there, they started holding like rehearsals at Faith World, but they shaped them as like Patrick would always use the term, "We're shaking the tree." So you know, there was at least 100 of our or so in those first rehearsals, but every couple of rehearsals he'd make some cuts, and so it was very nerve-wracking. And on top of that, you've got the cameras and the film crew, you know, just all over the place. And so it was a whirlwind experience. I had never experienced anything like that. And by the time we got to the debut concert, it had whittled down to maybe 75 or so of us. And Pharrell actually came to that, and he surprised us downstairs, and we were in the dressing rooms, and no one knew that he was just going to walk in. And so that was the first time that I got to experience kind of being in his presence as well. But yeah, it was, whirlwind is not the correct way to describe it. I mean, it's so much more than that, but it just kind of lifted me off, and I just went with it. And it's been amazing experience.
Your personal history shaped your music style and your message. What personally shaped this? What made you get into this?
When I was younger, and I actually still have this keyboard, but I had like a Yamaha electric, just a small keyboard. And I remember from a very young age sitting in my basement at my, you know, the house I grew up in, and just playing and writing songs and kind of using that as my own kind of personal therapy, my own personal way of expressing myself. When words kind of really didn't come. So it was like the music just kind of made sense to me. And so music has always just been very therapeutic for me, and helping me to kind of heal and express things that are hard to express. And so I put a lot of that into my music, and I put a lot of raw emotion and just kind of real storytelling because I think it's important, and it helps me to heal too. So as much as I put music out for others, the process of writing and putting together a song is also kind of cathartic for me.
All right. Will.
Megan, talk to me, you know, in your own opinion, the difference between singing contemporary music versus gospel for you.
I think a lot of it has to do with lyrical content, I think would be a big thing. I will say it's with the choir, we're kind of bridging that gap a little bit, where, you know, we're using gospel lyrics, and we're using lyrics that are talking about God and talking about joy and you know, those kind of themes, but it's under or over Pharrell and hip hop beats. So it's an interesting kind of convergence of contemporary and gospel, and you know, I think it's kind of uncharted territory. I know there's been other similar kind of things, but I think as
Yeah.
far as like the content and the message and the overall goal of what this choir is trying to do, kind of makes it one of a kind. But yeah, for me, the big thing would be lyrics, and be just kind of the content of the song, the themes, and what it's portraying and what the message is.
Voices of Fire. What does it mean to you, and how do you relate to it?
Voices of Fire is a just collection of people from all different walks of life that are all so extremely talented, that have stories that you wouldn't even be able to imagine, that someone could go through something like that and still be as resilient and as just wonderful as they are. And so it's just this beautiful group of just unique individuals that are all coming together to share in the love of God and share in the love of music and singing together, and just inspiring and uplifting others through music. And for me, that's just been huge. It's been so uplifting for my self-esteem, for my confidence, and just helping me to feel like I'm worthy and I'm meant to be here. And this is all part of a plan. And it's been really just really a meaningful experience. And I've met some of the best people that will be lifelong friends, and they've become like family to me. And the experiences that we've had together, you just can't, that bond is just so different than anything else. So the choir has been just it's almost unreal, when I really think about all of the things that I've been blessed to do and all the things that are yet to come. It's just, I never would have in a million years thought that this would be my way into, doing this as my career.
It's life
But
changing.
it's life changing. And it also just goes to show that, we all have what we think and how we think our lives are going to go and what we want to do. And we make plans, and it's just like, there's a time and a place, and you may not know right away what the end result is going to be or why, but it'll all make sense. And that's how it's been for me.
Will?
Bishop Williams, great man of God. His nephew is Pharrell.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to us a little bit about the contributions of Pharrell regarding Voices of Fire.
So Pharrell has been very involved in the process. I mean, he definitely shows his support. He's an incredibly busy man, and has a million different things that he's got his hands in, but he does make sure that the time that he spends with us is meaningful and purposeful, and just is a part of the team. And he is one of the most humble people I've ever had the pleasure of meeting. He doesn't want the accolades. He doesn't want the praise. He gives it to God. He gives it to Bishop, to his uncle. And, it's a wonderful thing to witness that, and just to even have a glimpse of that. He's, like I said, he's a very busy person. And so it's, not often that we do get to interact, but the times that we have been just beyond amazing.
Megan, your album Mood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I want to know, how did you come up with the name of the album?
So I actually, it's the title song from the album, but that had just, that wasn't the thought originally when I was putting the album together. But then once I started to think about it, and my producer and I just started, just kind of brainstorming, all of the other songs kind of had their own energy or mood to them. And so for me, it was like, well, I like this idea of making this title track the title of the album, because it also encompasses the different moods of all the other songs. And I just feel like it kind of encompasses that all the songs have a different vibe to them, or a different energy. So
what is one of your songs out of all your songs on your album, which one hits home for you that you really like? I put everything into this one. There's always that one song on the album. Come on.
Yeah, it's definitely Heart. And that one is literally, the lyrics say, I've given this my whole heart. And so that's the one that really hits home for me. It really kind of ties everything together. And my dad, I get feature my dad's voice on the end of it. He's been so huge in helping me to get where I am today, and just never kind of giving up on me, and always believing in this dream. And so I feature my dad's voice actually a couple times on the album, just to give that kind of respect and that those flowers, because he's been so monumental in all of this. But yeah, the song is called Heart. It's kind of a slower, more introspective type of a song, but it's one of my favorites, and I think the lyrics really just hit it home for me.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Megan, what does it feel like knowing that Voices of Fire, all of you are from the peninsula, and every time you go out, what does it feel like knowing that this group is representing the Virginia Peninsula? What is that feeling like?
It's hard to put into words what that feels like. You know, it definitely pushes me and encourages me, and just reminds me to always put out my best self, you know, because I am representing something that's bigger than me and so much bigger than all of us. But it also is just, it's a great feeling to be a part of something so close to home that's reaching all over the world. And it's definitely nice to just have that camaraderie of these people who are all from the peninsula. And like they say, there's something in this water. There is something, because there is so much talent in this area. I mean, it's incredible. So it's really just hard. It is hard to put into words what that feels like to represent and be a part of that. Telling you, man, there's some really talented people in this area, but in this choir alone, I mean, you could pass the mic and anybody is just going to shut it down. So it's nuts. Yeah.
Megan, can you share a moment in your career that you feel was a turning point?
Well, not to be redundant, but this choir.
Are you serious?
I mean, so when I was growing up and in middle school and high school, my dad and I would drive up and down East Coast, going to all these different auditions, right? I mean, we did American Idol, I think 3 or 4 times. We did The Voice 5 times. We did X Factor once or twice. We did America's Got Talent. I mean, any state fair singing competition he could find that was maybe a state or 2 over, we were there. Any musical theater audition he could find, you know, let's do it. So that was we spent a lot of my time growing up like really working hard pursuing this dream. And then like reality kind of set in, and nothing really came from that. I got amazing experiences, and it's led me to where I am today. But at that point in my life, it was like, well, it's time to really get serious about what are you going to do? You know, you need it now. You're going to go to college, and you're going to have to get a real job and get out in the real world. And so that dream kind of went on the back burner. To be completely honest, I was still doing music and was incredibly grateful to still be having music in my life at, you know, some capacity, even though it wasn't as full as I had dreamed it to be, but still just felt like, you know, it's not my time. And so then when people kept sending me this audition and I turned it in on the last day and I got a call back, it was like, this changes everything. And that lit a fire under me like I can't even describe. And that's when I started putting myself back out there and meeting the producers that I've worked with, and shout out to Rothstein Beats for producing my first album, and also believing in me, and just really, you know, asking me what I was waiting for at that point. And it was like, let's do this. You know, I've got this newfound confidence. I finally got a yes. I got a we want you.
It only takes one.
For us. It only
takes one. A lot of people don't understand that. It only takes one person to sit there and give you the yes. That's all it takes. That's all it takes.
And that's my encouragement. And that truly is, you know, it's my story. That was what changed everything for me. It gave me confidence. It gave me that feeling that, okay, I am meant to be doing this, that I was given this gift for a reason, and I'm going to use it and really do everything that I can to put myself out there and to share my music with everyone. So shout out to Voices of Fire.
Good, Will.
Megan, I heard the song Joy. Great song. Great song.
Thank you.
Talk to me about the work that was put in and how this song was done, because it's a great song.
Thank you so much. I love the song. It never gets old for me. We spent hours upon hours upon hours, weekends after weekends, in the studio, just making sure it was right. And before we even did, we had some rehearsals at the church, and it's not a easy piece particularly to sing, especially when you're in the stratosphere and you're having to sing joy, joy, joy over and over again. But we really had to work hard to blend and to make sure that we were on point. And so I would say it took us several weeks, just consistent hours upon hours of hard work. And and we were actually in Paris when that song dropped, and we got to perform it at the Louis Vuitton fashion show, which was Pharrell's debut as the creative director for Louis Vuitton. So what a song, what a experience. I mean, it is literally a dream.
What can we expect from you in this coming year, and any upcoming projects you like to share with us?
Yeah, I've actually started working on my next project. So it's different than my first project in the fact that I've just grown exponentially in that year that I kind of let the first album just kind of simmer and let folks kind of listen to it and take it in. I've definitely grown a lot as an artist, and just in my technique and my recording technique and things like that. So I'm really excited to put out another, just the next level of music for people.
Can you tell us when that's coming out?
We're just getting started on it, but there will be some new music this year. I would say I typically, I don't know why I like to release stuff around my birthday, but my birthday's in April. So I'm gonna say it. You heard it here first. We're gonna have some music out in April.
We got the exclusive, everybody. We got the exclusive.
Yeah, I'd like to get an EP out by the end of the year. But I'm really just trying to branch out and work with some different artists and do some collaborations, and so exciting stuff.
See, you're hiding some stuff. I can tell by your face. You're smiling.
Just, I would say, stay tuned for Megan B, and also stay tuned for some more Voices of Fire. And that's all I'll say about that. Just stay tuned. Stay linked into all of the pages for Voices of Fire and Pharrell. And there's just 2024 is gonna be a big year for music in general. So.
Right. Will?
Megan, talk to me about the impact Faith World Ministries has in the peninsula, and also talk to me about some of the things that Voices of Fire does as far as in the peninsula and the community. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So Faith World, they are just loving and open and accepting and kind people. They have been around for several years, and just to see their growth. And I've only been with them since the choir started, which is about 3 years ago or so. But just hearing them talk about their growth and about the things that they've been able to accomplish, and they're working on kind of building upgrades and things like that are overdue, and really just trying to be the best that they can be so that they can serve their community. I've been there when they're doing the food. They do a food pantry, I believe, once or twice a month. I mean, they have services, I think, 3 times a week too. So they're always just available for people who just want to come to the altar, or just to be within the spirit. And for, just being introduced to that through the choir and through music too has been a blessing for me. I got to serve a little bit on the music ministry with Faith World, and then of course the choir would come and do a couple selections at the services as well. But through that, and through kind of our relationship at Faith World, we've been asked to do different memorial services and things on the peninsula, and different community events and things that we can just kind of highlight Faith World, but also the choir. And we were going to do something in the water last year, but that Sunday was when that tornado rolled through.
Yeah.
And we were actually, because we were supposed to go on that kind of early afternoon, so all of us were just at this, just kind of hanging around Virginia Beach, just waiting. And I remember we were at a restaurant, and they finally called it, and we're just like, we're going to cancel it. And I kid you not, I mean, I drove home through that tornado. Like, I got the siren on my phone. I mean, it was a mess. It was like we just missed it. But yeah, so something in the water is something that we can, look forward to this year, and being a part of just kind of more community outreach and more local things too, because I think that's important. Yeah, we can go all over and different states and different countries and things, but we got to do, we got to keep it in Virginia too, and keep it on the peninsula.
I got a couple questions before I turn it over to my my sidekick before we close out this. Who is your idol? Who's your music?
Ella Fitzgerald is my music idol. Yeah, and I actually didn't know that she was from Newport News until a couple years ago. I found that out, which just was the icing on the cake. But I was at a camp when I was younger, and one of the counselors burned me a CD when people did that. It was a mixtape of like all Ella Fitzgerald and Billie Holiday and some different jazz artists, and I just fell in love with Ella's voice and what she could do with it, and how she could mimic different instruments, and it was all just sounded so natural and effortless. And so I just became obsessed. I love her music. I love her, she was big into community work, and just her story is incredible. And that would be one person that, if they always ask if you could take someone to dinner, or if you could meet someone who was no longer with us, it would definitely be Ella.
And my last question is,
Dang, Will.
Who is your dream person that you would love to work with?
I was about to ask that question.
Okay.
Yo, yeah, that was my last one. Who you would like to do a collaboration with?
Well, that's hard. There's probably a couple. One of my top would be an artist. Her name is Yeba. I don't know if you guys have heard of Yeba. Drake kind of put her on into the broader spotlight. She was on a song on one of his albums called Yeba's Heartbreak. But she's one of the most gifted vocalists I've ever heard. If you guys haven't heard of her, definitely check her out. Yebba. It's Abby spelled backwards. She's got an incredible story, what she's been through, and how she uses music.
Yeah, you heard it here first. She wants to do a collab with you.
All right, Yeba, let's go.
Yep. And who else? That's not the only one.
Let's see. Let's do I gotta think of a male artist. Lucky Day is an incredible. He's kind of a newer, at least to me. I only started listening to Lucky Day a couple years ago. But he's just like a timeless vocalist. He very much kind of has that old school sound to him. Very old school R&B, but still with the modern kind of sound. But his lyricism is incredible. His sound is great. He gives a great live show. That list though would be so long, I'm telling you, because let's start in 757. Okay, so let's list all the people in 757 that I want to work with, And then, it's just the talent is
Okay,
just
give me two people
insane.
from 757, then we'll wrap it up.
757. I've really been trying to collab with. There's an artist called, his name is Wilkes. He also plays with the Fellas Band. Super incredibly talented group of guys. So you kind of get that live music feel, and also just work with some. He's a talented producer and a singer. Let's see. I also would love to do some work with Cultivated Mind, which is a like reggae type of a band. And I actually know the main guy who I think kind of sponsored the band or formulated the band several years ago, but they're really kind of just a funky, fun, different. So, it would kind of give me a different experience with a different kind of music.
All right. So you heard it first here who she wants to collab with.
Yes.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up another episode of Purpose Driven Chance. I'm your host, also with Will, and our special guest for today, Megan B Music from Megan B Music. Megan, you can give a shout out right now to tell everybody, where to find you and everything.
Yes, thank you guys so much for having me. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at Megan B Music, TikTok at Megan B Music. Check out my album Mood. It is now streaming on all streaming platforms. Let me know what you think. Stay tuned for some new music coming out this year, and check out Voices of Fire as well. Thank you all so much.
No problem. This wraps up another episode of Purpose Driven Chance. I'm your host. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. We out. Bye-bye.
Bye.